How's it going, everyone? Welcome back. This is the JR Wisdom channel. Once again, I'm coming at you with another topic. And if you're interested in learning more about relationships, dating, things of that nature, self-improvement, I invite you to subscribe to my channel. So with that being said, let's get right into this topic. So I just wanted to cover this because I've seen this in the media as well, as far as dating, first dates and things like that. And many people who are just getting back into dating may feel like a fish out of water, and the awkwardness of dating after being married or in a long-term relationship, and you really don't have your footing all together, and you're kind of wondering where to start at and what to say and what not to say. There's no book that basically covers it all, but there are a few things that I've learned over time, and that from studying and from just discussing things with people, what you shouldn't say on a first date, or if you're just, starting to get back into it. And I'm going to be covering 5 things that you basically shouldn't do or say on a first date. So with that being said, let's jump into the first one, which is the most obvious, is don't talk about yourself. As a man, and this goes into Dale Carnegie's book, which he wrote, I believe, over 100 years ago, How to Win Friends and Influence People. This comes straight out of that, where he talks about this, which a lot of guys sometimes get caught up in themselves and they start talking about themselves, even if they don't start out that way. Your goal is, when you're talking, you want to let the woman talk as much as possible. You just want to lay back, relax, let her talk about her. And it's not something that I'm saying that is to cast a negative light on women, but women love to talk about themselves. Women love to talk, especially while you asking the right questions in reference to, about her. Open her up, let her talk about herself. And women love to talk about themselves. And if you're on a date and you just basically are just like, you ask her a question and then you let her talk, then you immediately start going into your spiel and cut her off and just go off on a tangent. You're already turning her off, and you basically start at the date with, like points. And this is a whole different video, but basically each time you may do one of these things, you may kill the whole date altogether. It depends on how attracted she is, to you to start the date off. So with that being said, please avoid talking about yourself. If she does ask you questions, what you want to do is you want to answer them, but you just want to turn it back on her, or you want to, refocus the conversation back to her to where she's talking about herself. And that's how you get just people in general to open up and to basically divulge information and feel more comfortable with you. Because at the end of the day, a woman wants to feel comfortable with a man. It's about how comfortable she is with you, her security and things like that. So this is what you want to do. The second thing you don't want to do is you don't want to talk about other women. And you don't want to talk about relationships as well. You don't want to compare her to other women, or other women that may be in there, unless it's just in passing. And if you feel like you're comfortable enough, or she's comfortable enough with you at that moment, where you may compare her, that she may be the baddest one in the room. It's something about basically putting her above other women that are around. But you don't want to talk about other women that you may have dated, other women that you slept with. You definitely don't want to talk about past relationships, which is what dudes tend to do, where they talk about exes in a negative light, ex-wives, things like that. You don't want to venture and talk about any of those things, even with her. You don't want to ask her about her exes, her relationships and things like that. It's about having fun. I mean, I know it's an interview, but you just don't want to delve into these things, because they are personal in nature, but not on a first date in terms of that. Everybody's putting out their representative when they're initially meeting up. So let's just keep it like that. Let's keep it fun and let's keep it interesting. Let's not, because things like that can drag a conversation down really quickly and basically just kill the mood. In terms of, it'll kill your mood as well by talking about an ex that you claim may have done you wrong or cheated on you or something like that. And if it does come up, you just have to learn how to, change the conversation up and just move on to something else. In terms of that, you always speak positively if it does come up in light of that, but you change the conversation. in terms of that, because that's not what we're here for. We're here to talk about, we're here to have each other, we're here to have fun with each other, we're here to have a good time, and to let her talk about herself. That's what we're here to do. So with that being said, the next thing, you don't want to talk about money. A lot of dudes, they go on these dates and they start talking about money and what they can do for a woman and what kind of car they may drive, and even sometimes through innuendo start talking about money, and women pick up on stuff like that, unless you just feel like you may be dating that certain type of woman. But these things you don't really need to talk about. It's going to come eventually. You don't want to give that arrogant persona off like, I got money, I can do this, I can buy this, I can be your sugar daddy, quote unquote, not in those words, but I can put you up in this, I can change your life. You don't know who you talking to. I'm the best thing that ever happened to you. You're basically giving off that vibe, and it will turn a woman off quickly. So don't ever lead in with money or a conversation to be focused on money. And also that helps you find out where her mind is in terms of that. And you don't want to talk about how much money she makes either, because it may come off as condescending as well in terms of that. So let's stay away from the money talk. The next thing you don't want to talk about is marriage or serious relationships and things like that. Do not talk about marriage, because you think that may be what she wants to hear, or she may wants to hear your thoughts on marriage, so on and so forth. Don't basically give out any of that unsolicited information, even if it is solicited. You just want to be cool, calm, things like that. You don't want to you just want to basically say, hey, that may be something further down. You don't want to be disingenuous, but you may say, hey, give your thoughts on it anyway. Be honest, be as honest as you can. A lot of times you may be surprised, but just stay away from topics like that, and you redirect the conversation away from topics like that. As far as marriage, you guys shouldn't be talking about that on the first date at all. Stay away from it. And you may come across as needy and weird if you talk about that with her. So stay away from that. And the final thing, and like I said, these are just 5 things. So don't take this because there's several other things, but these are some of the 5 basic things that I just thought of that you shouldn't be talking about. Don't talk about the next date and when can I see you again and things like that, because you're coming off as thirsty. You're coming across as having a scarcity mentality, or this guy must not get a lot of dates. He's trying to already plan our next date. He's trying to plan our future. She may feel like she's losing her freedom. You basically don't talk about next date. So I have this plan for you, so on and so forth. I like to do this. You don't end dates like that. You want to end it on a mystery tip, unless y'all basically going to a date. You got 2 dates in one and you're going somewhere else. Or basically you want to leave the date with it up in the air. A woman is attracted to a man that she's unsure about and what his next move is. If she already knows what's going on next, women like to be surprised. Women like to be wooed. Women like to be basically given a fairy tale, a fantasy, and things like that. So if she already knows what your next move is, then it's just like, this guy's already planning our marriage. He's already planning this, and this. And I already know he's going to call me. He's going to send me a good night text. He's going to text me in the morning. Hey, beautiful, all this BS that she's already used to. You need to conduct yourself like a high value man who this is, she should be blessed that you're spending your time with her. I know y'all don't go like this one. Yeah, she should be blessed that you're a high value man. Your presence, this is a gift that you're giving to her, your time, and not the other way around. So that's how you need to look at it. So with that being said, I hope this helps out. I didn't want to go into too deep of this topic because I know it's going to turn very long. It's going to be very long-winded if I get into it. So I just wanted to touch on those basics. Let me know your thoughts or your experiences on some dating no-nos and what's happened to you with dating and first dates, and some that have gone right, some that have gone wrong. I'd like to hear your thoughts. And if you feel like this video has been of value, I ask you, if you don't mind, give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to my channel yet, I invite you to subscribe to my channel along with my other channels, which are in the description as well. And share this video if you feel like it'll be of value to someone else. And I invite you to check out these other videos here that are about to pop up here shortly. Check them out as well. If you got any topics you'd like me to discuss, or if you need any advice, please feel free to email me. The links are in the description. With that being said, peace be upon you and the mercy and blessings of the Almighty. And remember, anything lost can be found again except for time wasted. I'll catch you guys on the next one. I'm out.